but I do want to take you into the living room because there are some things I want to share with you today. This is the week that we're getting ready for the visit from my Jersey brothers that are coming out. My brother Vinny, who is just 2 years younger than I am. I haven't seen him in 6 years, and we're so excited. My brother Tommy, I've seen more often because his son Brian is out here, but he and his wife Marlene are coming as well, and we're all making plans. We've been on the phone and we're talking back and forth with each other about, guess what? Mostly nostalgia and memories. You know, that's what it's like in these years of living old. And in the past, when we got together, it was all about, especially when they would come to California, it was all about going to Disneyland and going to Knott's Berry Farm and going down to the beach with the whole family and having a big fire at night and barbecues. All new experiences, but enjoying each other and everyone else. You know, they can't remember the names of all the kids and all the grandkids, but they love seeing them and they remember them mostly when they were younger. We've been living in California for quite some time now, but we always have managed in the past to either go back there or whatever. But this year, the three of us, are talking on the phone about the things we want to do. And you know what they're turning out to be? They're turning out to be looking through old photographs of our childhood years and the years growing up with mom and dad. It's the things we did back then, the house we lived in. Tommy goes back every year to visit it and check on the house where we were all raised and grew up. And I'm going to share with you some of these little recipes that I'm going to be going over with them, photographs and also a lot of history. They're both very interested in a lot of the ancestral history that I have of both our parents and the ancestors from Ireland. Now you are going to see me with a face of makeup that I look like a clown. I put some great makeup on and then I forgot to blend where I put my contour up here on my forehead. And I have these two things here. Maybe this was a little dark too, but I know if Colleen saw this, she'd shoot me. She's always saying, Mom, don't forget to blend. You know, I have a thing. I get the makeup on and I'm rushing. I'm not always into checking it afterward. So please forgive the fact that I did most of this video with the stuff here. I know it, so it's better that we don't mention it. Okay. Thank you. All right, so I'll finish it off, hopefully, with everything blended. This time yesterday, I was talking to my brother Vinny about food that Mom made, and he was talking about the Hungarian goulash that she used to make. Actually, it was her brother that used to make that. Talking about the Irish potato cakes that my grandma showed us to make. I used to make those. And what else? Oh, Tommy brought up snow pudding. Well, guess what? I have gone through, as you know, and I think I've told you this, I have all of my mother's recipe boxes. I must have 4 or 5 of them. She loved to cook and she loved to eat. And I'm going to make 1 or 2 of Vinny and Tommy's favorite things on the days that they might be here visiting. Now, I know that they're all coming over on Wednesday for the day, and I'm going to try and have something made. Maybe the snow pudding. Now, I know my brother Tommy's 13 years younger, so he grew up sort of in a different era than Vinny and I did. And my mother let him eat wagon wheels all the time. We used to say, geez, we used to have to finish our peas on the plate at night before we could go out to play hide and go seek in the neighborhood with the kids. Not Tommy. Mom would let Tommy eat anything, but he does have some other memories of some good things. So come on in the other room with me and we'll go through some of this and talk a little bit about this week. Did you see I got up, no hands from that seat? Wow. So this week is trying to clear the decks and getting things done. Shani is helping me after school this week, just doing the dusting and vacuuming and getting the extra things that are sitting around that I haven't moved in a couple of months. And Matthew will be coming up to spend at least a whole day to do the heavy things. Now, I know a lot of you have said, why don't you get a cleaning crew in? Well, we plan to, but there's no way I'm getting a cleaning crew to come in here when I still have so many of my treasures sitting around, because it would just be a waste of money that would take them to move it. I want to wait until I get everything cleared, and then we'll get them in and they can take care of everything from, in an adobe brick house, you have the bricks, these adobe white bricks. They're made of clay and they collect dust on every single layer. I mean, walls have to be dusted down and various other big time stuff. So we're not doing that this week, and it might take a while before I get a crew in here, but it'll come. If you're inquiring about my knees, I've been wearing my sleeves on my knees, and I think I showed you in a little car segment that I did get out Sunday morning and brought back Moosey and I our drive-in egg quesadilla with extra green sauce. And Moosey did get some donuts. And I also went and did my very first Vons shop, which was a success. I did well, and it wasn't a problem. I had people help me put everything in the car. And then when I got home, I had help from Moose. I did want you to notice that I did find one of my nail polishes matches my new Dollar Tree lipstick. It's kind of a brick red, and it's newly done. Someone remarked in the last video where I had just cleaned off all the Christmas decor from the mantle, where is your new pewter? And I had mentioned I was going to put it up, but in the last segment of the clips, the whole mantle was just empty and no pictures or anything up. And I hadn't gotten to it by then. In fact, I didn't get to it until I think 2 days ago. But I went outside to try and find the bin with the pewter in it, all the plates and various other things, candlesticks, and I couldn't find it. So I have to wait till Matt comes to get the rest of the pewter up. But let me just go over and show you. It's just a very simple selection of things. I might have to put the picture higher to be able to stand up my plates in the back. But the simplicity is kind of nice right now after the overdue of Christmas. Now, I wanted to let you know about my scarf. When Moosey came in from the outside, he'd been out watching birds. They're going crazy out there because Shani fed the other day. But he mentioned my scarf, wanted to know where I got it. Where did you think I got it? I can't remember. Oh, he's not hearing me. Anyway, this is a really interesting scarf. After I had seen one on Dub, she had gotten one up in, they took a trip through back east during the fall, and she had gotten one, whether it came from Pendleton or where, I don't know, but it was beautiful. And I thought, oh, I want to find one like that. It's woolly, and guess what? I went to the thrift shop that week, and guess what I found? Sitting right there on a bin. And here it is. Now this is nice. It has stripes on one side, and I love the aquamarine because it goes with my turquoise and silver jewelry. But this side is more of an Aztec look. Isn't it neat? And it goes with so many outfits. The outfit I have on today is so cozy. It's one of those outfits I bought last winter. It's a beautiful sweater. It looks like wool, but it's not. And it has pants to match, wool knit pants. And I got it at Walmart, believe it or not. And it even has a hood. I don't want to disturb it, but it's so cozy and warm. I would think that Walmart has something similar to these. I tried to buy one in gray. They had it in a very soft heather gray. Loved these so much, and I got so much wear out of it last winter, and I'm doing the same, especially on these coolish days now. So I thought this looked kind of pretty with it. I did want to share once again my knit outfit from Walmart, but it was last winter. Maybe they'll have something similar. It has a hood in the back, and it's all knit, and the coziest thing ever. As I told you when we were filming in the other room, a lot of the recipes from my mother when she died, and I did manage to find all her recipe boxes. There were 4 or 5 or 6 of them, and a lot of them were these old little small oak boxes. But she did do a lot of clippings out of magazines and things. Of course, there was no computer at the time, but most of her recipes are handwritten in her handwriting, or she was a great typist too. But the fun part about it, as my brothers and I were discussing the last couple of days on the phone, everything's about nostalgia. We talked about the meals that Mom made and the wonderful meals of, especially we talked about Friday meals. The Archdiocese in those days, there was a rule that you didn't eat meat on Fridays for years and years and years. And so everyone had certain Friday meals. And one of our favorite meals, it turned out to be not only my favorite, but my brother's favorite, and even Moosie's mom made this meal. It was boiled potatoes that you didn't mash, you didn't mix them with milk, but you kind of chopped them up. And then you hard-boiled eggs, and you put those in there a little bit chopped up, a lot of butter, and that was the meal, a big bowl of that. Now, that's probably pretty Irish with the potatoes, right? But that was one of our favorite Friday meals. We're going to go through these recipe boxes, and I also have many, many of Tommy's wife, who also was a good cook, Marlene. And my mother and Marlene used to swap recipes also, and I have them here, some in Mom's handwriting, some in Marlene's. I think she'll enjoy this the day that they're over here visiting when we go through these too. Some great ones, Marlene's crumble cake, with those, like those Entenmann's, only even better. And then I also have an awful lot of Vinny's wife. His wife, Anita, died about 6 years ago. Anita was also a fabulous cook. And I have a lot of her recipes. And I think the boys will enjoy these. One of the recipes that I think that we talked about, by the way. Now, Tommy didn't know this. Tommy was 13 years younger. So his memories of some of the food are a little different than Vinny's and mine. I had to stop for a minute because I was looking out the window and I saw the gardener out there leaning over the wall, and I wondered what had happened. Yesterday, Shamu got in a bad fight with that little marmalade cat that I told you that I've seen, and Shani keeps seeing her too. She keeps dropping by, and I would love to feed her, leave some food for her. I don't know whether she's a stray or she just wants to visit, but Shamu's not having her around. I think she was so abused by Ghost, the other cat that was feral and took over. He was the alpha male, that Shamu didn't want anybody else around. And he really had a bad fight with this cat. And Shani and I had to turn the water on the two of them. He was the aggressor. And I'm very mad at him today that he wasn't more kind to this cat. But I thought that perhaps the gardener, leaning over the wall here down the hill, I thought he saw this poor cat. Actually, it was my hose was leaking, so he was shutting that off. So anyway, let me finish up here by showing you what else I am going to make. Snow pudding. And it has the hard sauce. Vinny and I loved it. Have you ever had snow pudding? Does that ring a bell, a nostalgic bell with you? I will show you next week when they're here. I will film, hopefully, with them if they're not camera shy, and especially some of the things that I'll make. Tommy also remembered me making these homemade donuts, which was quite a job. Messed up the kitchen, smelled up the house beautifully, but you know those homemade donuts that you actually make from scratch and you put them in the oil and sing. He wants to know if he can have donuts. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do that. I might fudge it and make some with biscuits or something. So it's going to be a fun time when they visit. And part of the nostalgia is the discussions all about our family trees. And Tommy and Vinny, we're of an age now where we're just going to talk about the memories and the nostalgia of the old days. But I think I mentioned to you that Moosie and I did make these Shutterfly books. I don't know how long ago. Maybe it was 6 or 7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. But we did 3 of them. And the first one we did was mostly black and white photos of ancestors from Ireland and back in New Jersey and wherever. tracing back our family trees. I had a lot of information from a cousin of mine whose wife was a big genealogist and they did a lot of digging up and saving stuff. But this is all about my hubby and I both growing up and our ancestors. Now, this was the first one. And in here are pictures of a lot of the family. There's my grandma, Nellie Flanagan, and she came over when she was 17. And I have listed, there's her father, John Flanagan. Can you look at the mutton chops mustache he had? And Nellie was one of, I think, 9 or 10 children, and only 2 of them came, Nellie and a sister, Katie. The rest of them all stayed in Ireland. But I've listed the names of all the brothers and sisters, and on my side, we went through all this. We even had a cousin, well, that's on my father's side, who was in the Civil War, Bernie Dolan. So here's all the pictures that we had, and I've given a lot of copy here. And then the second half of the book is all about Moosey's family and his ancestors. And really, didn't I do a great job? So many pictures. Well, Moosey and I gave each one of our 6 kids a set of these books. This was book number 1, mostly our ancestors, so they know all about where they came from. The second book was Moosey and I growing up in New Jersey, and one half is mine and the other half of his. And here I am with my brother right here. This is Vinny and I. Tommy wasn't born until later. So there's a lot of history here, and we're going to go through these. Tommy had a lot of questions about everything. The last book that we did, which was the thickest, and it has 1,000 photographs, believe it or not, look how thick it is. And this is all about our family out here. Moosey and I were married in 1960, and it's all about our life with our family. And this is just a great book. And so all the kids have these sets of all of these wonderful, wonderful books. And I'm sure we'll be going over these, especially the ones of the ancestors when the boys are here. A couple of nights ago, I just wanted to make some Polish Latkes or Polish pancakes. Now, they're a little different from the Irish pancakes. This time, I just grated 2 raw potatoes, Idaho potatoes. I put 3 eggs in, probably about 1/4 cup of flour, and a little bit of garlic. I didn't have raw garlic, so I put some minced in. And then put a little oil in the pan and fried them. Now, the seasonings, you can use parsley, you can use Italian seasoning, anything you like. Just make them nice and tasty. Half an onion is what I put in, and of course I did put the minced onion in. But later in the afternoon, I did get some new garlic, but that's what I would have put in. Now, as I fried them a little bit on each side, you just wait till it gets brown. You put some olive oil in the pan, and they get nice and crispy and brown. Were they ever delicious? With the batch that I made from just 2 potatoes, I did get, this is a little smaller version of some of them that I did. I did get about 18 to 24 of these potato pancakes. We had them with sour cream, and if I wanted to put something else with them, I would have probably had applesauce. One way or the other, I like it with both. Absolutely delicious. Nancy and I were just wondering what we were going to have for supper. It's about 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and Margie texted and said, "Hubby Mike is on his way up with some food." Well, Margie just cooks and cooks. This whole thing was filled, and Mike is in there talking about Winston Churchill with Moosey. They're looking over some of Moosey's books. But in here we have warm homemade chocolate chip cookies, and I'll put that back on tight. In here is some hot, what kind of bread is this? It looks wonderful. Is this Margie's homemade bread? It might be. But she loves growing sustainable food, herbs. She has a wonderful garden. She makes her own bread now, and I think they call that traditional wives. She sent me something about traditional wives who believe in home cooking and growing their own things. Oh, these are what Mike says are little egg bites. And he said they had a couple this morning, and I can put these into the fridge and we can warm some of these up for tomorrow and maybe freeze the rest. It has the raspberries and the blue cheese and the nuts. Oh, 2 of those. And this is whatever soup. It's hot. And there are 2 big ones of these. My goodness, I think this is a pea soup with ham and carrots and heaven knows what's in here. It's not the kind of pea soup that Moosey makes. But I bet I should ask Mike again or Margie what it is. Whatever it is, it smells delicious and it's fabulous. 2 big things of those. Do you see all that? Does she show you all this before you bring it up?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, Mike is our delivery boy, and you deserve as much kudos as Margie does for cooking.
Well, I got the kudos too, so no worries.
Thanks, Mike. Good Sunday morning to you all. I am in the car. It is about 10:30 in the morning, and I'm on my way down to Del Taco to get Moosey and I that beautiful egg quesadilla and cheese, big giant, it's not a burrito, it's a quesadilla on a flour tortilla, and it has the most wonderful, soft, creamy eggs and cheese mixed together, and they put green sauce on it. Always get extra green sauce. So that's going to be our breakfast this morning. I am actually going to Vaughn's and doing a shop. I have both of my knee sleeves on. I'm feeling confident when I have them on. And I'm not taking the walker because when I get inside, I can use the basket to take the pressure off my knee if I have to. And I really have to do a shop. Kind of excited to be doing my very first food shop in 2 months. Can you believe that? So we've been getting so much help from the kids. And of course, yesterday, Margie came down with more food and I showed you all that. Well, actually, Mike came down and brought all this wonderful soup and everything. So what I do with the second one, Margie always sends doubles of stuff. I now label everything and put it in these nice containers that she sends down. So we always have a second supper to look forward to. So far as food goes, we're doing okay. There are staples that I need, and that's what I'm going for. It is chilly here in California, but compared to the rest of our country, I'm not complaining. I'm looking at Billy and Bonnie sent us some pictures of their beautiful Bear Hollow Inn, their home up in Koosky, Idaho, and it's all covered in snow. It is beautiful. I think we're right now in the high 40s, which is very cold for my garden, especially my boxwood, but it's still looking good. So all I have to wear is my Martha Stewart vest that Debbie gave me on my birthday last year. And I just love this one. So I don't have to wear my teddy coat today, just this. So I just arrived home again, and I can feel that nice hot breakfast in here and Moosey's donuts. And I'm going to go in. We're going to have a nice breakfast. Then I'll be out again, and I'll go and do my food shopping. So thank you so much for watching the videos and enjoying them. Moosey and I are both getting our legs back again, doing a little bit more. We're trying to get back on a midweek weekend schedule. I've been a little sporadic lately. Thank you again, my friends. Don't forget to subscribe for those of you who haven't joined our family yet. Goodbye for now. Love you, and God bless us all.